people truly are not born brilliant. You become what you take in over time. So if what you take in is a system that works, if what you take in is a system that encourages success, is a system that encourages development, is a system that encourages growth, over time, success becomes part of what you manifest without struggle. And we went on to, talking about consistency. We're able to talk about the biggest thing that separates successful students from those that are not successful. And we said it is not intelligence. You don't become successful because you're intelligent. No, you can be intelligent and still fail. You can be intelligent and yet you act like someone who doesn't know anything. So you don't succeed because you are intelligent. You succeed because of your habit. And we further established that habits cannot be changed. No, you cannot change your habit. You can only replace your habit. For instance, I don't like reading. I hate to study. It is a habit. But now I can study a different habit, an opposite habit. So when you say I changed or I have changed my habit, it simply means you have replaced the negative with positive habit. I attend meetings late. You cannot change that habit. You can only replace that habit by attending meetings very early. You don't hear these things anywhere. Very difficult to find stuffs like this in our society. But that is what I live for. All right. So today we are diving into something that is very special. We want to, talk about the system that works. And I asked the question that I said, what is the major thing that brings about thriving in the academic world, in any world, in any field? Some person said it's preparation. Some person said it's confidence. Some person said it's mindset. And I said no. Because all of these things cannot be found at the foundation. At the foundation of success is a system that works. So when you have a good system, when your foundation is built on a system, a blueprint that is very strong, you see preparation will sprout, right? You see consistency will sprout. Confidence will sprout. Positive mindset will sprout. So, many times we feel motivation is what we need to succeed. It's not motivation, because motivation reduces after about 72 hours. But a system is something to fall back to every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year. And tonight, I'll be exposing some of these systems as we continue. Very quickly, I'd like to share my screen. As we move further. All right, so let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen, please?
Yes, we can.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Wisdom.
Yes, I can see your screen. Yes.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. So basically, we want to look at the academic excellence formula. There's a formula that works. There's a formula that works. You apply it any day, anytime, under any condition. and it works anywhere, irrespective of location. It works, and that is our goal for tonight. So, we want to look at your roadmap to academic excellence. What kind of parents, what kind of teacher, what kind of student are you becoming? I'm asking this question because I believe that if you followed the day one, the day two of this training, it means something is already changing from your inside. Yes, something is changing from your inside. Even from the summary I gave, you can agree with me that something is already changing, something is sprouting from your inside. So it's a big question. What kind of student are you becoming? And I have some questions here on the screen. How many of you have already identified some mistakes you have been making? You know, many times we assume everything is okay. But before you correct a problem or before you solve a problem, you must be able to identify that problem. If you don't identify that problem, then you may not be able to solve that problem. That was what led us to discussing the principle of diagnosis to enable us find out certain problems. So I believe by now, if you've been following, you must have discovered some mistakes you have been making over time, because that is the first point of building a system that works. And how many of you now believe that academic success is not by luck? Nobody succeeds by luck. Nobody succeeds by luck. Anybody that succeeded by luck, watch the flow of that success. After a particular time, they drop. Yes, they drop. You know, success is like growth. You don't jump to grow. You don't jump to grow. You grow to grow. And that's a system that as a child, I will begin to crawl. And then after some months, I will learn to stand. And then after that, I will step, I will take a step, I will fall down, I'll stand again, I'll take 2 steps. And before you know, I can now run. They don't give birth to a child today and then tomorrow the child is running. It's not possible. It's never possible. It requires a system. There is a system that works, and that is what we do here. You don't get this system anywhere. I tell you this fact for free. Don't get it anywhere. It's a free training. So you can imagine what a paid training would look like. Every single thing about this training is planned. From the PowerPoint, the content, and everything I'm dishing out. So it is very, very important we are able to answer, these questions personally, because this is where the change begins. This is where the system that works better begins. So what kind of student do you want to become? What kind of student? What kind of teacher do you want to become? What kind of parent do you want to become? If nothing changes, where will your academic life be in 1 year? For those who are students, for those who are teachers, for those who are parents. If you change nothing, it should tell you where your academic life would be. Our focus is academics, but you can see that every single thing I teach here can be applied in any and every area of life. If you don't take a step, if you don't change something around your habits, around your activities, where will you be in a year time? What kind of result do you want? What kind of result do you want? What is the kind of result you actually desire? All right. And then, how do you want people to describe you? Whether we like it or not, people will always describe us. But the big question is, as a student, as a teacher, as a parent, how do you want to be described? How do you want to be described? How do you want to be described? Do you want to be described as that person that is doing well? That person that is succeeding? You know, for those who are on the platform, I told you, do well to follow me on all my social media platforms at official Coach Augustine. That was this content I created. And one of my classmates during my first degree days, she made a comment. She was like, you have always been good. But, she said, but you do not keep your answer booklet open in the exam hall. We know ourselves. She just described me. And I made a comment. I said, remember, lecturers do not like my kind of people. Yes. I even tell my lecturers, I tell them, you do not like me, and I know the truth. All right. And then I told her, I said, as a student, I spent time teaching people from the beginning. If you remember, one of the things I said is that to grow, you must learn to teach others. If you do not want your knowledge to be stolen, the best thing to do is to teach it. You don't hide it. That's what we call public knowledge and tacit knowledge. But that's not where I'm going to right now. But the best way to become a reference point is by dishing out what you know. You can testify today that just few minutes you've spent here, something is changing. That the knowledge you're gaining from here is not stolen. As you share that same knowledge, as you put that knowledge into practice, you are making reference to me. You do not need to call my name, but your conscience says it all. So how do you want to be described? As the change agent, or as a student who doesn't know what he's doing? As a teacher who knows what she's doing, or who doesn't know what she's doing? As a parent who understands what she's doing? As a mother, as a father that knows what he or she is doing? Or the one who doesn't know what he or she is doing? In our society today, you see parents care about the outfit of their children, the physical look of their children, but they do nothing about the minds of their children. And what will become is not what we wear. What will become is not our physical look. What will become in our inside. So when your inside is transformed, when your inside is changed, if your physical look will definitely change. Everything you manifest will definitely become positive and better. So we need to take note of all of this. So every great result begins with a clear picture of the person you want to become. Who are you becoming? Who do you want to become? Because you cannot become what you do not desire. No, it's not possible. You must intentionally desire it to become it. And you don't become your desire by just saying it. I want to be this. I want to be that. I want to become a medical doctor. I want to become the person that will transform society. No, basically, the simple thing I want to do is to make my corner, everyone in my corner, a person of knowledge. It's as simple as that. Because when you have the right knowledge, you thrive. Anywhere you find yourself, at work, in school, as a professional, as a mother, as a teacher, you begin to thrive. And that's what I'm doing. Recently, I am taking a step further to a point of visiting certain rural areas to establish functional libraries. I don't have the money, but it is something I want to become. And so, if you look at everything here, these are some things I have written down. A whole lot of them, I've written them down. And before the end of this month, we'll start the execution process. I want everyone to have access to knowledge. That is it. I want everybody to have access to knowledge. Those children in rural areas, I did a research in 2020 on reading culture and library print materials, and I discovered that most of our schools do not have libraries. Children don't even know what is called a library. Growing up, I know that, okay, for those of us who lived in the days of Abo, I don't mean in the days of Abo, I mean those who read that reader. You know, sometimes I remember the content of that particular chapter. Sorry, model. That's the word for it, model. Abo lived in time of Lagoon, which is not far from Ibadan. So reading that, it exposed me. All right. So one of the ways to gain exposure is to expose yourself to books. So it taught me that there is probably a city in Ibadan called Lagoons. So I will not be surprised to get to Ibadan one day and I hear the name of that city. So that Agbo I read in one book, this was his city. But our children don't have access to these things. But I know that, you see, Nigeria is going to be better. Nigeria will be better. It will be better. It will. It will be better. So if you want to lift that cup from our previous slide, you see the guy at the middle is lifting the cup, the trophy, the prize. You can see a woman by his side and the other man by his side. They are looking up to the trophy. So you want people to look up to your result. You want people to look up to what you are manifesting. Then you must be very intentional about it. Extremely intentional. And how do we do that? We must be able to create small habits, because as we create small habits, we create big results. As we create small habits, we create good results, big results. If you go to the gym on the 1st of January, you don't expect your body to become like that man you see on your screen. You need to do it today, do it tomorrow, do it next tomorrow, the day after next tomorrow. And then at some point, you can now say, I did it yesterday, I will do it today, or I did it today, I will do it tomorrow, I'll do it next tomorrow, I'll do it the day after next tomorrow. So that is how it works. And before you know, you are becoming a better person. So we must learn how to create these habits. We must infuse these habits into our systems. When we do that, we'll begin to succeed. We'll begin to manifest certain level of success that will make people, become surprised. Now you have a picture on your screen. On that picture, you see an empty can and a half full can. And on the top part of it, you see every day. Every day. The previous picture you saw, you can see the man on the screen. And it is written, small habits create big results. This is also an example of that small habit that can create a very big result. Your aim is to succeed. Your aim is to do better. But there is something you must do every single day in order for you to succeed. There is something you must do every single day in order. Look at that picture. You can agree with me that it is not easy. Your goal is to make sure that this other cake or this other can, becomes half full like the other one. Imagine picking little stones and you're dropping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do you think that is possible? I need someone to respond to this. Open your mic and respond to this.
Yes, it is.
Give your reason.
Because at least doing repeatedly small actions every day brings a greater result.
All right. That is a very perfect stand for me. Small actions every day. Small actions every day. Like I told you, we cannot change our habits. We can only carry out small actions, all right, that are in departure areas with our present habits. As we do that every single day, we begin to change. Hello, Oluwaseyi, please mute your mind.
Yes, I believe. Yes. Oh, yes. I want to respond to what you have.
Okay. Go ahead now. No, go ahead and speak.
Like what you just. Okay, thank you. Like what you just said now. Like Mr. Wisdom said, every day we could drop. So consistency will keep that. Even if it is two, I'm dropping today. And tomorrow I still want to drop another two. Next tomorrow I feel like dropping three. It eventually measure up to the level of the other can, at least at the point. So if I keep doing it every day, I'll get used to it and I'm not comfortable doing it. It might not be easy at the first instance, but at least it will be in my mind I have to do it every day. Then it gets easier for me as I'm doing it.
Okay, so it gets easier as you're doing it, right?
Yes, yes,
That's
it gets
fantastic.
easier as I keep doing it. Yes, thank you.
All right. Can we try out something? Can we do something right now? I want us to do something. If you have a pen close to you, a pen and a book, I believe we should be jotting
Okay,
down something.
okay,
You have a pen close to you. In a great house, you find writers who write with their right hand. You find some who write with their left. And sometimes you find some who write with both hands. So let's do something. All right. If you write with your, if naturally you write with your right hand, take your pen to the other hand. And if you write with your left hand, take your pen to the other hand. And try writing your name with the opposite hand. Try writing your name right now with the opposite, hand. Let's do that, please. Let's do that. This is one practical that will change your learning trajectory. If you do this, it will change your learning trajectory. Let's do it now. I believe we're done. Try writing your name. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we are done. Share with me.
okay,
What
I'm
did you
done. Yes,
experience?
I'm done. Okay, for me,
What did you experience writing with the opposite hand? All right. So
Okay, for me, it was difficult and my
it wasn't
handwriting looked
easy.
so bad.
Yes, I
pause,
write with
pause,
my
pause,
right
everybody,
hand
pause, pause, pause,
normally,
everybody,
so
pause,
I
pause.
swap to the other hand.
Sorry,
And
Oluwaseyi,
then
what did
number
you say,
one,
please?
the
What did you
writing was
say?
off. It wasn't easy.
Okay, it was off. It wasn't easy. All right, so let's hear from Mr. Wisdom. You wanted saying something before I said everybody should
Okay,
stop.
yeah.
The
I
network
wonder,
was
yeah.
bad. All right, so go ahead.
So it's difficult, number one. Then my handwriting
Okay,
looks so bad and terrible. Writing
so
with my left
bad
hand.
and so
I'm a
terrible.
right-handed person. So writing with my left hand, number one, it is difficult. Number two, my handwriting looks very terrible.
Okay, so you can see that setting up a system is not easy. At the beginning, it will look foolish. At the beginning, very difficult. At the beginning, extremely terrible. But you would have to, if you decide now that at the end of 2026, one of your top goals is to write with your left hand. You see, by the time you do it tomorrow, do it next tomorrow, do it again and again and again and again and again. Before you know it, you can now write with your left hand. That is how it works also in reality. Every single thing is possible. But the big question is, are you ready to repeat that habit? That small habit. Are you ready to repeat that habit every single day? If you do that, you discover that you are becoming a better person. If you do that, you discover that you are beginning to thrive. All right. As we prepare to round up for today, while we prepare for tomorrow, tomorrow is the last day. It's going to be a big one. I tell you, if you miss tomorrow, you miss everything. I'm telling you for free right now. If you miss tomorrow, you miss everything, because I'm going to show you the simplest and the easiest way to build a system that works, a system that stands the test of time. I have done it. I have taught people. People are doing it. It is working. And I'm going to share it for free. If you miss tomorrow, you missed everything. You missed everything, because tomorrow is the foundation of this webinar. So I very quickly, let's ask our questions. I want to take just few questions and we call it a day. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's take questions.